What's good, family? It's your boy, LaRock, aka Mr. 11, and I got a special guest with me. A special guest, you know what I'm saying? He's super woke. Like, when I met him, I was like, oh my God, like, this is crazy. My guy, John, introduce yourself.
What's good? I'm John Pitts.
There you go.
I go by the organic as a professional prize fighter.
There you go.
Vegan chef. I guess that's alchemist.
Exactly.
A coach, student of your coach. There we go.
Exactly. Oh yeah, tell him you was a pastor before this, right?
Ex-pastor.
Oh.
Yeah. Youth minister, elder,
Yeah.
whatever title that you can think of.
Escape the Matrix too. That's crazy for like a pastor escaping the Matrix. So like Christians, if you want to debate him, you're not winning. I promise you, you're not winning. But hey, we got a Q&A. I told you guys to ask me questions. And yeah, we got about like 90 questions almost. But we're not going to answer all of them. You know what I'm saying? We're just going to skim through, answer some good questions, answer some all types of questions. But yeah, here we go. All right. Okay, here we go. What are your thoughts on abortion? Do you think it's fine to abort your child if you're not financially available to take care of it? Or do you think it's low-key disrespectful? You want me to go first?
Yeah. It's time for you flowing. I'm flowing with you.
Shoot, freaking abortion is like abortion. That's like me personally, I don't like agree with that. Cause it's like, if you're having sex, you gotta like at least like know what's like the consequence to doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like without whatever, you know what I'm saying? But I don't 100% agree with it. Cause I feel like you're like stopping like a life from like completing its purpose or something. I don't know. What do you think?
Right. I would say for me, I don't agree or disagree with it. I don't personally give it any attention so that I don't generate it in my reality.
Right.
So I will tell the young people that with any of these ideas, you don't have to have you don't have to choose a side, because if you don't, it don't exist for you. That's one of the tricks of this so-called matrix, is to get you to feel that you must choose, and you don't have to. And that's how you can prevent from manifesting things in your reality that you don't like. Because don't like is the same as like. Don't want is the same as want. It's just two different sides of the same pole.
Wow.
So it's the uni-verse. So you got to unify what appears to be in opposition. But that's for you to do.
Yeah.
You have to bring that into oneness or balance. That's the real work, yeah.
Shoot, that's facts, man.
Yeah, that's the real work.
Dang. She was his pastor 05.
Oh, snap.
07 to 73. Damn. Oh, his birthday is 27. 73. Damn, bro.
One more try.
05. I think it's the 7th. I don't know. Let me go get him. Dang. I hate this. Dad. Oh my God. Yo. Yo, Dad. Bet. My bad.
No, you're good, bro.
05, 03, 05, 03, 73. There you go. Let me see. Still recording. Let's make sure. All right, bet. There we go. Okay. When you first opened your third eye, how did you feel and what did you see? Oh, that's a good question. When I first opened my third eye, like I said, I did it through meditation. But like I felt like this like this I don't know, it's just like this type of energy that just felt like warm. But like the next day, it was like low-key scary, because like the day after I opened my third eye, my mom, she like, you know how you just get downloads of like information? We was on the highway and I just like started crying, because like I was just getting so much information, just like the truth. I'm like, wow, like this is the Matrix. And like, you know how you just start thinking weird, like, I don't know, bro. It was weird, but I could say my life's gotten better. Yeah, it's gotten better. What about you?
Yeah, same thing. It's the same experience. It can be overwhelming at first. So I felt, it was a beautiful experience, in personally the way that I felt and experienced it. But then to look at the world again, it was, like, damn, what the, like, what is,
yeah, facts. You can cuss too.
So okay.
Okay.
So it was like, I don't say that.
Yeah.
It's kind of scary. It was.
Yeah.
I didn't really know if I even wanted to be on the planet.
Damn.
So, that's something that some people may go through, but that's a necessary part of the journey, that you have those questions. And then with your pineal gland really vibrating now, you're able to answer that question. And then when you answer that question, then the next question will be why. And all of that, you need the pineal gland to be vibrating and functioning or activated. Whatever term they use, you want to be able to engage that, which is the seat of your soul. So that's through the pineal gland, you activate or you become in contact with your highest self. And so that's what this whole matrix false system is designed to keep you from ever coming in contact with, is your highest consciousness. So that experience can't be, if you are to discover who you are, it can't be just beautiful. It has to be ugly too, or what they call good and bad. We don't agree that it's either good nor bad. We're the observer in the middle. We just observe the experience that believe we're having, and you'll see that it's all good,
Yeah.
It's really all good. The so-called downs and the ups, or the goods and the bads, the negative and the positive, it's all necessary. But when you first see everything that you next notice as a challenge, when you first see it as a problem, that's heavy.
Yeah.
That's what I would tell people to be aware of. When you do that, depending on your perspective, it can be a scary experience. You have to know going into it that you are the observer.
Right, 100%.
You're the observer. If you can master that, you can master yourself in this reality, no matter how so-called horrible things get. You can master yourself if you always remember that you're the observer, and you don't have to choose sides. You don't have to choose sides. What's the number one tactic in warfare is don't join the fight.
Yeah, that's true.
So I would, how did I get there from the opening of third eye? But that's part of it. Like it'll just flow, and you just channeling information from, what do they call, the Akashic record or ancient library, which is your melanin.
Exactly.
Which is your melanin.
Damn. All right, bet. What do you think about doctors giving kids who aren't successful in school ADHD meds? They effects Adderall are the same as meth, but prescribed. Oh, he's saying, like, how do we feel about doctors giving kids like ADHD medicine? He says, like, it's equivalent to like hardcore drugs. I think that's what he means.
I would say the conditions. I'm not saying the conditions do not exist, but those drugs, because there's remedies in nature to deal with these conditions. It's kind of like having a spaceship in space that gets dinged up. So that happens to our consciousness here. It can get dinged up. It's like you can get dents, which is just alters your perception of yourself. So we call that mental illnesses. There's always a cure in nature, because nature is an aspect of yourself. So to engage nature is like a map or a diagram or a manual for you to engage certain aspects of your own mind. So the herbs will deal with organs, and these organs and the herbs will also deal with certain parts of the brain. So I would tell them to study the brain, study the parts of the brain, which is also they address in ancient Egypt. That's going to give you the different aspects of the brain that not only work with the physical body, but work as a conduit or connector to higher consciousness. So it's just a blueprint that you, not through the brain, but through your mind, you access higher consciousness. The brain is like a physical uh, map, like a
Yeah.
3D map of your mind, which is invisible. So nature has herbs, which is grows in a physical, like I don't know what word to use, like a as above, so below, like a mirrored reflection or a copy, in the image and likeness of God. So it's like in the likeness of the herb and the brain, how a kidney bean looks like a kidney.
Yeah.
It's like that. There's certain things in nature that you identify with that address your organs, your brain, and that will also connect to certain aspects of your mind. So you can deal with if it's attention deficit. You don't want to just deal with the symptoms of that. You want to deal with the root of it, which probably deals with childhood trauma. It's going to deal with trauma in some sense. But more than likely, if it's attention deficit, it's going to deal with childhood trauma. So through herbs and therapy, like talking, not prescription drugs, therapy, which is just getting them to remember and talk through it until they realize that they can detach emotionally from traumatic events.
Right.
And with the help of herbs, certain herbs, it helps you stimulate certain neural pathways of the brain.
You just made it make sense.
That's vibration.
Yeah.
Frequency, all of that. So with the vibration, it's just helping you tune your instrument. That's all it is about. It's keeping this instrument that you have, which is your vehicle, and look at the brain as the motor of it. Not the heart, you know what I'm saying, but the brain. Look at the brain as like under the hood that keeps everything running in the brain. So if you keep that tuned, then you can navigate your ship, your vessel. This is like the movie The Avatar.
Yeah, facts.
This is not you, but
Exactly. Like this is our characters, our avatar. I think about that all the time. Like, dang, that movie shows so much truth.
Yeah.
For real.
So you keep it tuned with natural remedies. You don't have to go to. Think about it. You have to pay money. So anything that's sold to you like that, then I would question it.
Right.
Because if it's nature is an aspect of you, then it's going to be readily available to you. That was what we left that place called paradise, where it was all available. But that was only because of our state of consciousness. We knew who we were. So you was aware that these things were available. They're still here, but we're not aware because we don't know who we are.
Yeah, facts. Facts. Dang. Okay, let me see. Okay, when I start to astral project for the first time, why do I vibrate and start shaking? I don't know. Like low key, when I astral projected, I felt that too, and I kind of think it's like my soul like going back into my body, because like I remember, like it's been weird. Like there'd be nights I wake up 3:33 in the morning, 4:44 in the morning. Like I'm like, what? And it's just like I get this like I'm like shaking. I'm like, what is that? And I look at my time, 3:33. I'm like, what in the world? Like, I don't know. I feel like it's like my spirit, my soul getting back to my body, something like that.
Yeah, because it's all energy.
Yeah.
So everything vibrates. So the more, here is slow motion. So to astral project or to travel in that realm is the speed of thought. So it's moving that fast. So when you sleep the body and you exit the body, your consciousness, the one that's looking out of the eyes and talking, you can be in the physical body more sensitive to those vibrations, especially when you're in what they call the in-between, where you ever wake up and it's like you still kind of sleep.
Yeah.
You can be in the in-between where you're very sensitive to these vibrations that you're experiencing, because everything vibrates. So to reach certain realms or levels, when they say there's levels to this, it's just a vibration to reach a certain level.
Right.
It's not a complicated thing. A vibration is a frequency. How frequently does this spike? So if you're training, they have something called muscle memory. You do it so frequently. That's a frequency. So the more frequently you begin to astral project, the more it becomes automatic, the more you will, not that you're no longer sensitive, it's just kind of, you're not as aware of it anymore, because it's just the vibrations that's way different than how you used to engage your sleep.
Mm-hmm.
You was not even aware to be conscious. So it's one thing to be conscious. Now you bring awareness. So then you'll go back into this traveling. It might be a dream, and you'll say, "Well, I'm gonna go back to that place." And several times until you start to remember where everything is placed.
Yeah.
Because you frequently go back. Now that raises your vibration. Now you can enter a new level where it's like, well, let me go read a book when I astral project.
Yeah.
When I go travel somewhere, now I'm not just going, I'm going with a purpose to do something. They'll say, oh, you reached another level. Why? Because your frequency increased your vibration. It raised your vibration. So now, just like on a video game, you go to the next level or another board because you went so much, you became so familiar to it that first vibration you felt, it still happens, but it's just not you're not as conscious or aware of it as you were before because it's so familiar. Now, what's new to you is a new level. You feel what I'm saying? So then that stands out to you.
Yeah.
Like, yo, I started noticing titles of books on the shelf. Okay, well, what are those books? Now you're going to start journaling. Now the whole astral projection that you engage in changes altogether. You know what I'm saying? You might time travel, or you might want to travel to a location present. So all of these things require frequency and vibration. You engaging it. That's all. When you experiencing that, you're engaged in this realm. So now you're sensitive to the vibration that's present, and it's really your body. It's really you. Well, outside your physical body, it's you that vibrate, like you said, your spirit. So now, when your spirit is meshing with the body, then your physical body is more sensitive to that vibration because you're more aware now.
Right.
When you was going to sleep before, you used to just go to sleep.
Right. Yeah.
Well, now you're aware. You're like, oh, wow. When you're waking up, you're aware of it. Now you can go to levels because you're aware. You're not just conscious, you're aware.
Yeah. Dang, bro. That was deep. Yeah. That was deep. All right. Do you ever feel like you can't believe anything and you just want to cry knowing that you will never know the real answer? Oh.
That's a good one.
That's
Who's
deep.
that person?
His name is Akeem.
So he's in what I would call the dark night of the soul.
Yeah.
Where that's a wonderful place to be. It sounds because read that again.
Do you ever feel like you can't believe anything?
There you go. You don't believe anything. There's nothing to believe. It's what he says after that I would challenge him on.
And you just want to cry knowing that you will never know the real answer?
But that's only because of what he started out saying, knowing that you'll never know the answer. How do you know that? Because he's declaring it. He's saying, knowing I will never know anything. So he puts his soul in a place of being lost when it's not lost. Because the soul don't move or go nowhere. So it's what you say. So if he says that I know I will know everything, guess what he knows? Everything. Because there's no time.
Yeah.
There's no space there. But he can convince himself that I'll never know anything. So now the soul or your consciousness believes that the darkness is lost. I'm lost. When all he has to do is create from the darkness, which is his mind. Right. So whoever that is, he's only crying to discover himself. That's what the tears are for. So he's the water and all that washing away his old ideas. He's like, I can't believe anything anymore. Great. You don't believe nothing.
Yeah.
Because you'll never know believing. So what do you know? You don't know based off of anybody else's experience and their logic. I had a video on my phone of Muhammad Ali talking about that. He says, I don't go by other people's history or their logic for what they choose to believe. So if you choosing to believe that you will never know everything, I have to give you that liberty to do so. But I don't have to choose to know that. I know everything. That's what I would tell him. You know everything, to remind him. Now he'll come into a new realization and no longer be lost, and he will declare, just like he did there, what he knows.
Yeah.
which will only be about himself, because that's all you can know.
Yeah.
It's about yourself. So that's where he's at, the dark journey of the soul, to discover himself. That's the best place to be, especially right now, 2020, to come to a real, new realization of himself.
Yeah. I kind of went through this, phase in my
Yeah,
spiritual
I
awakening.
went through that.
Dark night of the soul. It was something else. I can
Yeah,
say that. For real. Okay. Thoughts on social media and its effect on comparing each other so heavily. Ooh. I feel like social media has like a big toll on like on just like us in general. Like social media just throws so many things at you. Like you got to be this, you got to be that, you got to be this. You're not perfect if you're not like that. It's just social media itself is just like it's so toxic. I'm not saying like don't use it. Like you can use it to your advantage. For example, like for your business or anything. But like
yeah,
if you're just on there just to be on there, I don't think it's the right move because it's really bad mentally. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And it's good to take breaks. Like right now, I'm on a month break of social media. The only thing I have is like YouTube and Twitch, and those are my two things I make money off of. So social media in general is just like it's good to take a break right now.
man.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's excellent advice, because it's a tool.
Mm-hmm.
So then let it be a tool. Don't be a tool for it. Because
Exactly.
in this matrix, and in this world's duality. So you have to look at that. If it's a tool and I'm not using it as a tool, then it's using me as a tool.
Yeah.
Like they say, if you're not, what is it, the product, purchasing the product, then you are the product.
Yeah, because Kyrie, he's like, I use social media. I don't let social media use
There
me.
you go.
Dang.
Now it's a tool. If you don't declare that, you'll be a tool. That's why they have ads. They're using those who's not using it.
Damn.
Because either you're gonna use it or it's gonna use you. And then that's a tool that they're using for mind control. So just because they use it to mind control doesn't mean you have to be a victim of that. Which means, well, how do I not be a victim of that? By taking control of it and saying this is what I use it for. It give purpose to things. So you say this is what it's for. If you can't do that, then you should not engage it. Put it down, because
Yeah.
you're being used.
Exactly. Slave.
Yes, you're either gonna be the slave or you're gonna be the master. That's
Mm-hmm.
it. That's the only. So the movie that Barry Gordy gave us was a beautiful expression of that. The Last Dragon.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Watch that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a beautiful movie, yo. He says, because he shows you that either you're gonna have a slave mind looking for a master, or you're gonna realize, like in that movie, shown up says, "Who's the master?" And he realizes with that gold light he reached the crown chakra that he's the
Mm-hmm.
master of his reality. So there's nothing that should be happening to me that I don't desire.
Right. Right.
It's you the master.
Yeah.
That's it.
Damn. There you go. All right. All right. Did the coronavirus lockdown help you focus more on help you develop your progress in spiritual journey, and did it not affect it too much? Me personally, I feel like Corona was a blessing for me. You know what I'm saying? It helped me like I don't know. It's like Corona helped me just like reevaluate myself. I guess reevaluate myself, focus on myself more. Um, Even though it gave a lot of people a good pause, you know what I'm saying? I think the world needed that too. Like
Mm-hmm.
a pause, like, look, y'all need to sit down and reevaluate yourself. Like, because everybody was stuck, the rat race.
Yeah,
Nobody has time to think about themselves,
yeah,
visualize themselves, look, care for themselves. And I feel like Corona was a good thing for a lot of people, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And it was really good for me business wise, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? So, yeah.
Yeah, I would just challenge not to call it Corona, because they are mass. Because what was happening or did happen was going to happen anyways. It's part of a shift in nature.
Yeah.
So when you study astrology and cosmology,
Mm-hmm.
or focus more on astrology, and also look at the precession of the equinox, and you'll see that those who studied the stars already knew what type of shifting in energy that those of us on the planet would experience,
Right.
because the positioning of the planets and the stars and the energies that collide to this planet affect, doesn't have to control us. We don't have to be under the control of it,
Mm-hmm.
but it affects the behavior, especially of those who are not aware
Mm-hmm.
or who are asleep. It affects behavior. This change was going to happen, and it was going to be really exposing where your mind has been. and what you've been giving attention to.
That's why a lot of truth has been coming out.
Yes, because it's just going to reveal, everything has to be exposed, everything, which means you also. The distraction is thinking that other people got to be exposed. Ooh, they're exposing the pedophiles. Not
Yeah.
that shouldn't happen, that's great, but what's real is you are going to be exposed to yourself as far as what ideas that are not benefiting you that you've been holding on to, and the things that you've made true for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And those, so now you take responsibility for everything, and now you'll take something like this and use it to you, like you said, to your own benefit, to empower yourself. Mm-hmm. So study Beetlejuice or Beetlejuice, and why did that movie resurface this year? And they was telling us to stay in a house, and the Beetlejuice movie is about a house, and so there's codes and things that they place, which shows you how aware they are of these things that's happening. It's the majority that's not aware. So because we're not aware, we think that there's really something out there to fear, when there's nothing to fear but fear itself. The one thing that's constant is change. So they want you to fear change.
Right.
That's all they wanted, you to fear change, so they could keep you stuck in a loop. So we're entering a new cycle. We have entered. That's why it's 2020. So we entering a new, they call it the age of Aquarius, which we're in. Now, I don't know the exact dates and things like that. I don't study it that deeply. But we're in the age of Aquarius, which is information. So information is coming forth.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and that's neither good or bad thing. It just is what it is, because it can be used to any intent. Mm-hmm. The same information you can use to heal, you can use to poison. True. So what's exposed is your intent. And now, when that's being exposed to you, it's not those, the intents of others are going to be exposed, but what's most important is your own intentions. So staying in the house really is not supposed to be your physical house, because you need to be outside.
Yeah.
It's this house. It's supposed to go in here, not in there. Mm-hmm. That's not real. It's supposed to go more inward to answer your questions, to solve the problems that you think you have. So nature was going to call you in anyway. They just wanted to distract you during that time so that you don't go deeper within yourself, because the only way out is in. So the only way you get out of this is to go deeper within yourself, because you'll discover how limitless you are and realize that you can't be held down here. I don't care what it is, what they call it, the white supremacy system or the government. None of those things are real. They don't really exist.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't exist yet. They're ideas, just like programs in a computer, that you can either download and run or reject it altogether. Reject it altogether. So with the corona, all of that, I would reject the idea of corona that altogether and embrace what you pointed out, the things that you had to change, how you had to examine yourself, your business, and how you use it to benefit. You use that time to benefit yourself. So you went deeper within. And I would encourage people for the rest of this 2020, continue to go deeper within and discover more and more of your own power, your own ability. And you'll see that these XMen Marvel movies was always talking about you.
Facts.
Always been talking about you. And this time, where you will wake up and remember who you are. But they trying their best to keep y'all distracted.
Exactly. That's why they have, bro, this year has so many distractions. Mm-hmm. This, that. I remember when 6ix9ine came out, that was like one of the biggest distractions, like especially like for the kids. Oh my God, because I feel like he's like obviously he's like a slave.
Yeah, and that's why they use the numbers and the colors. You know, start looking at colors they use.
So you think 6ix9ine means something?
Oh, his whole, you got to look at Tekashi, look at his name.
You talking about like gematria and stuff like that?
Gematria and also the etymology of it. You want to see the root and where these names come from. Because nothing is an accident in the universe, even if the vessels are not aware of what is taking place. It's all like numbers and codes, zeros and ones in a computer.
Right.
So everybody's playing their role. You know, it tells you their role in their name. We're ignorant, so we're deceived, because really nothing is hidden. It's all in the open. Look at what's going on with Cardi B and Biden and WAP. And this is not her. I'm not going to say that what her intentions are, because she could be very sincere.
True.
But this is all a Freemason ritual taking place for mind control. And how do they get me? How do they trick me? Because you don't know the symbols.
Facts.
So they can talk and tell you. It's like me making up hand signals. Me and you make up hand signals. And we're, like high school drama.
Yeah.
And there's somebody right here we don't like. And I'm looking at you. And you're like, ha, 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 ha.
Yeah.
And then they're like, what? And you go, and I'm like, ha, ha. And we just talking about it. And he's like, what? What are you saying? Mm-hmm. That's the majority of humans right now, especially here in under any kind of European rule, so-called rule. We're under Freemason rule. So how do they rule? By ideas. And how do they enforce these ideas or get these ideas programmed into us? Through symbols, through symbols. And with those symbols because we're not aware of these symbols, which come from nature, then we're not aware of the program that's taking place. And these signals, they're talking to each other in front of us, and we don't even know what's going on. So we're being distracted all the while. Things are being done to us that we're not even aware of.
Yeah.
We're talking about celebrities getting divorces and stuff.
Exactly. What does that have to do with us? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Who this couple is sleeping with a guy with rainbow hair.
Like,
and that's not even my business.
Exactly. Like, oh my God. They just want us to oh my God.
Yeah, who cares who Jada gets entangled with?
What exactly.
Does that have to do with my life?
Exactly.
Nothing.
Exactly.
So I would tell the younger people, please do not know more about other people's life than you do your own future and the things that you desire for you. If I ask you, where do you want to be in 5 or 10 years, and you can't tell me, but you can tell me the latest gossip and drama going on, I would want to take your phone and smash it.
Yeah. You
shouldn't be on any social media at all.
Mm-hmm.
Because then who's creating your world and the future that you're going to live in? If it's being created, you're creating it, whether you know it or not. The problem is, if you don't know you're creating it with your mind, someone else is doing it by the programs that you're downloading. They can't force these programs on you.
Mm-hmm.
It's that as children, we're ignorant. We didn't know that the cartoons like the Smurfs and these other ones, not saying they were good or bad, because they're really not. They're neither. It's just how you, as aware, which begins with your parent, are aware of these symbols, and how you then, from that awareness, choose to utilize it. Because then you can turn whole programs around in this matrix.
Mm-hmm.
You can turn whole programs around and make it be volatile against itself. You have that power. So like the video game is really mapping out how your mind works here.
Yeah, 100%.
It's just mapping it out to you how your mind. Don't ever forget that you're not the character on the screen. You're the one holding the controller. It's your mind. And those buttons you hit are codes. A triangle, a square. Those are symbols. That when that symbol is hit, it sends a signal. When you hit that symbol, a triangle or whatever, there's a signal sent that causes that character on the screen or avatar to respond to what you want it to do. That's how this works too. But if you're not in control, you're triggered. All I got to do is show you things to make you your emotions. I will show you a boy that looks like me and you getting shot by a cop. Look at, they're shooting us in the streets. And I'm like, no, they're not. I'm right here. They're not shooting us. And who's us? And I say that jokingly because I want you to see what they're doing, so you can just block it.
Yeah.
They want to distract you to get emotional response from you, because that's you hitting that button. Now your avatar, you're playing the game. Why is he just running into the wall?